Okay, so my son's friend took my Onewheel out for a ride last night, and he said he rode through a big puddle, and then it was working fine afterwards. Now I'm just going to take it apart because it keeps seeming to leak water, and see how much water actually went inside the back battery, or hopefully nowhere else. We'll see. So as you can see in the front, you see how moist it is in there. When you go through a deep puddle, it's going to get right into the charge controller plugs. These are sealed, but still you're starting to get into trouble. Now there is a splash guard as well, so most puddles it's not going to get in there, but if you fully submerge the board, water's going to get up in here, and that's just not a good sign. We want to dry that. Tip 2, if you have one of these core tools right here, and you can take out the core, you can actually save yourself the trouble of removing the tire to get into the fender wells. You unscrew it, let the air out, kind of pressure on it, and then put the core back in with your pressure on it, and then you'll have a little gap there, and you'll create a little vacuum inside the tire, so there's a gap. So that's what I'm talking about. I create a vacuum here, and now I can get in to the wheel well and clean this all out without having to take the tire off. So I've removed all the screws here, 6 screws here. Lifting this off, you see water really does sit in here. Flip this over without losing nuts. Yeah, it's pretty nasty. Probably get to dry this out once in a while. It doesn't take very long to take apart, less than a few minutes. So I took the rear foot pad off too, and this is kind of a concerning part about why you shouldn't leave your Onewheel wet, is that the casing for the battery pack, it actually is made out of some kind of aluminum or properties that is not it's susceptible to rust so I've wire brushed as much as I could off this. I've decided to I'm going to paint this with some rust paint, this area, just to keep it from corroding. I find that this material, this kind of metal, corrodes very quickly. So if this was left wet long enough, it would probably corrode right through the case and start leaking water into the battery bay.